Alrighty.
And hello, everyone. Currently, no one.
Hello, no one.
We are live.
Yes.
I'll see if the number of viewers go up, and I'm gonna do a proper
Okay.
intro if that happens. Otherwise, just gonna record.
Alrighty.
All right,
So,
sounds good.
do you want to do the intro, Shifty, or
Ah,
shall I intro to the system, etc.?
yeah, hello everyone. We are live in Tabletop Simulator to play a little game here by Nora, aka DOS Robot.
Hmm. And Nora, for those of you who don't know, is the voice actor for Ori in the Machinima.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yellow will give a little rundown of how the system we're using works. Then Nora
Alrighty.
will explain our little adventure, and we will be ready to begin.
Yep, she's our DM for today. So, we are playing today with a system called F sharp, which is a very simple system, which is nonetheless extremely flexible. The idea is that you have these little note cards. Go ahead and zoom in on Isaac's note card. And this is your
Okay.
character sheet, your entire character sheet.
Uh,
You
I'm
have.
still trying to remember the controls here. Yeah. All right. Here we
um,
go.
no, sorry, the character sheet. Here, I'll just bring it to you. I'll bring it
No,
to
it's here.
you.
What? No, I
Okay.
already wait on my face. Yes, you can say.
Okay,
You
sorry.
can.
I was looking at your stream.
You have a
Anyway,
delay. Remember that.
yes, yes. I don't usually watch streams, so anyway, yes. So this is my character sheet. I have three each of backgrounds and catchphrases. Each of these has a level. In this case, everything's level one because this character is just starting out here. And each of so backgrounds and catchphrases. Each of these defines what this character is good at, what he can do. As you can see, they're very free form here. Like I've got Secret Space Serviceman here, which basically think Starfleet officer undercover trying not to break the Prime Directive. That's what that character means. So trait means. So I can do all the sort of things that you would expect Starfleet officers to do. I can rough and tumble. I can spew technobabble. I can do all sorts of stuff like that. But it also comes with there's a challenge to it. I have to maintain the Prime Directive and maintain my secrecy. So if she desires, Nora can trigger that to add additional conflict. She can throw something at me that will require me to work to overcome that, or I can trigger that and do something that adds um, additional complexity to the story. And when either I trigger that or she triggers that, I get one of these tokens here, which can be used to make something not unexpected, but not unreasonable happen. So I can actually have some power to alter the scene. And to roll the to figure out well, to act, we don't have a lot of complex rules. We just say what we're going to do, and then we select three of these fudge dice here, and we roll them. So fudge dice are just regular six-sided dice, except instead of numbers, they have plus, minus, and blank. So it gives a whole lot of randomness in the range. Can it be anywhere from +3 to -3? In this case, it's do Shifty's re-rolling things, but
Yeah.
here we've got
Less one.
do, do, do. Yeah, -1.
Yeah.
So um, I compare that to the challenge rating that Nora decides for whatever I'm trying to do, and she tells me what that is before I begin, and then I add my relevant ability, and if it's equal to or higher than the difficulty, it works.
Okay.
and Nora can decide how well it works. But yeah,
And here
let's
is
see.
the three faces of the dice.
Yes,
Yeah,
you got positive, negative, and blank.
yeah, two of each.
hmm We've also got a player pawn here and a D20. Those don't have any specific use for this game, but it's just a thing to have if we need it. All right, so hello, Cobalt. Welcome to
Hey, Cobalt.
Tabletop Simulator. Okay, am I missing anything?
I
No.
guess, yeah. I think for we starting playing here, it's enough. Since we're
Okay,
not explaining how to properly play. Hmm.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody wants to know the detailed rule set, just go to F sharp. Look for Google F sharp game rules. That's F pound sign game rules. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, Ruby.
It's a bit tough to find it because F sharp is also the name of a programming language.
Yes.
Just keep that in mind.
Which is why you put in the game rules
Hmm.
section thing. That should gives
Hi,
you the
Ruby.
results, I think.
All right.
Right. So are we ready for me to kind of take over?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to give us the story tags. The story tags for this adventure, which is probably going to be a 1 to 2 shot. It's not a long-term thing. Is an absent wizard takes the island down with him, climb the tower, faces challenges, and save the village. It's magic. Suspend your disbelief.
Yes,
Yep.
we have
So
we have a Starfleet officer.
yes. Yes.
Suspend your
So
disbelief.
yes. So you'll notice that this is broadly the same format as the note cards. It's a similar. That sort of guides the nature of the story and tells the player what to expect.
Yes. All right. So I'm gonna give my little speech about the basic world, and then I'll ask you guys some questions, and you can fill in some blanks that will inevitably have shown up by the time I finish reading. Um, So we are playing on a largely ocean planet where there are some islands that have cropped up that defy map makers by emerging and eventually retreating back into the ocean. And there is one large habitable continent on the planet, and that continent tends to be fought over as different factions bump up against one another's borders. So, over the last 500 years, magic users, often called mages, summon new islands where they would build a tower from the ground below it, and the island would jut up out of the ocean, crowning this island at the highest point with this custom tower that represents the mage who built it. And each tower and island exist off the magic and the will of the mage that crafted them. And these mage towers became common enough that people started to inhabit the islands below them, building settlements, giving supplies to the mage in exchange for protection, magical boons, and a war-free place to live. And so we find ourselves starting out on a small rural island called Sufftree. Uh, you might have lived here your whole life or moved here recently to have more freedom when compared to the mainland. Um, and regardless of how long you've lived here, you can't ignore one pressing fact. This small safe haven of an island is sinking. Already, about 50% of the village has been overtaken by the cold ocean waters, with many of the folks losing their businesses and their homes, and many of the people facing relocation. You seem to be in the final days of this small, peaceful island. With the vanishing of its mage, uh, any who dare to stay are doomed to slip back into the water it was summoned from. So, with this in mind, we have two characters running this adventure with us today. We'll start with Isaac, who is sort of an incognito, secretly from outer space man. What in the world are you doing here?
Okay, so I was going to go for a much sillier character, but we had a third player who was
Yeah.
going to play a more serious character to balance it out, but he wasn't able to make it. So I've stepped into that role. So Isaac is actually a character from a previous campaign. Who was before he was a secret spaceman. He was
He was an
he was a
hologram
character.
accident.
Yeah, he was a character in a holo novel, a noir holo novel. So he gets around when it comes to genres. But
He's-
anyway, so
Recycled character from an unreleased campaign.
yeah,
Yes.
mostly for sake of because it takes forever to edit those things. It was a great campaign though.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
thank
why
you.
I'm not gonna edit this. This is gonna go raw in the YouTube.
Yep.
I'm done with that. I'm not gonna say anything about what I was going to say. It's a bad idea. Don't make promises you might not uh, follow through.
All right. So I'm going to circle back around. What is Isaac doing currently? I would assume alone on this island. Why don't you build a plausible story for me, rather than me trying to propose one for you?
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. So Isaac's ship came upon this. Well, no. So Isaac's ship encountered some sort of technobabble storm, and he was cast into a while they were I don't know on Earth, let's say, and he was cast into a parallel weird dimension. So he's done his Starfleet thing, and he's figured out a way back. But there's something in this tower that is interfering with the device he has made back in his hidey hole. So that and his Starfleety desire to solve problems is what has prompted him to go into this sinking mage tower.
okay. All right. So you got split up from your crew, and just happened to be here and want to do some good. Is
Yes.
that kind of what I'm getting?
Mm-hmm.
All
But
right.
also to get back home, and I need to get into the mage's tower and figure out whatever magical thing there is causing interference and figure out how to turn it off.
All right. Okay. Then we have. Are you okay with me throwing it to you, Shifty? I know you want your
Yes.
character to be a little bit surprised, but you ready?
I can put some. I can say some of the background and then do a review once we officially meet with Yellow's character.
Okay, perfect.
There's something I can
s-
say. All right. Mhm.
So why don't you just start out and tell me a little bit about why you're on this island?
So,
Um,
my character is an inhabitant of this world. Uh, she, yes, I'm playing a she, used to live on the mainland, but because of circumstances related to the mages and their wars and a specific thing about me, I, together with a bunch of other people like me, decided to flee the mainland and settle on the island. And we don't really want to go back there because that's a bad place for us. In the island we had some peace, but as Nora explained, the island is sinking, and I want to get to top of it, I guess. I do not want to get the bottom of it. That would be bad. But I want to
Soon the
figure
top
out.
will be the bottom.
Yeah, but I want to figure out if there's a way to stop the sinking and keep the island going, so that we don't need to get uprooted from our little safe haven.
Okay. So you are invested because you live here and you don't
Yes.
want to have to go find a new place to live.
Exactly. And I've
Great.
been lived on another place that was bad, and this place is not bad. At least it wasn't
Gotcha.
until
It started sinking.
it started sinking. Yes.
All right. That works. That sounds good. Uh, and I believe if you want a name popping over to Yellow, I believe the name of your ship was the Regalia,
Okay.
if that's worth knowing.
I cannot remember how to spell regalia.
I believe it's Regalia. Let me double check.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yes.
regalia is derived from regal. Got
Yes.
it. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we have one person who's trying to get home. We have one person who's trying to save their home. Sounds good to me.
Hmm.
All right. So as another shudder rocks the island a little bit, the leader of the island, a woman named Melda, calls a meeting of the last few town folks who are expecting to hear an announcement that there's a final evacuation. But some of the more observant folks have noticed that there is a new ship that has been docked on the last dock that can still be used. And that might be for evacuation purposes, but they saw that they were bringing at least a few things off the ship on board. So, standing on a table in the middle of the what's left of the town square, you see Melda start calling everyone to attention. She's a worn-skinned woman from working hard in the fields, and she's always been firm but fair. She says, in a loud voice, trying to boom over the sound of the waves and the wind, "Hello, everyone. We are in dire times. As many of you know, we have lived peacefully under Mage Reese for 200 years. But 4 years ago, sightings of Reese have become less and less frequent. We would see his owl familiar out and about on the island, but now, well, we've lost more and more of the island, indicating there is no longer a mage in the tower, and the ocean will reclaim us soon. As many of you know, most mages do take on an apprentice, preparing for their eventual death, but we have had no such luck. None of us have heard of anyone being trained to take over as caretaker of our island. As a result, I put out a call to have another mage come. However, she motions into the crowd, and there is a very thin and sallow-skinned young woman with pointed ears, tiny, maybe 3 or 4 feet tall. She sits in a woven wicker chair with wheels, an early, a rudimentary wheelchair, it looks like. But she has clever, clear eyes, and you see a flicker of magic from her fingers. And um, uh, she nods to everyone as the leader Melda speaks again. She says, "We've brought a mage, but She's not going to be able to make it to the top of the tower without aid. If anyone is willing to try to claim the tower either in her name or and then to help her escort up, or if they... I don't think we have anyone who'd want to take on such a burden, but this is it, folks. This is our last call. So if anyone wants to try to clear out the tower, this is our last chance. And if not, please continue packing your homes and boarding the ship. She starts getting down as people start talking over each other, and the general hubbub of this kind of sour discourse of having to pack up and leave. And so I open it up to you guys. You can ask questions, you can interact. What would you like to do?
Let me see. So Isaac, being secretly Starfleet, has been kind of trying to keep his head down a little bit. So he's sort of in the back with a hood, and he's pinpointed something in the Mage's tower as the thing that's stopping him from going home. So he knows he has to go up there, but out of an abundance of caution, he's not going to step forward yet. He's going to watch the crowd a little bit before see who else might be coming forward.
All right. So, are some people actually starting to go out and like preparing to pack and stuff like that?
Yes, so this is the last few hanger-ons of the island. There's already been kind of a mass exodus. These are the last folks who, when there's a tropical storm, are going to try to sit in their homes and just take it. These are the folks who might be willing to go down with the ship sort of mentality. The old crusty farmers and the rough older folks. Pretty much anybody who was willing to uproot and go find a new life has already kind of departed. So this is kind of the last gasp of this town.
And nobody's
in general,
and nobody's
so in general, these are sorry.
Yeah.
So in general, these people seem more stubborn than capable.
Yes.
Okay.
So
yes, these. Go ahead.
Yeah. So from the crowd, as nobody steps up to do the challenge, you hear a voice, a little bit of a scream. Nobody is going to step up. We need to save this island. I'm not going back to the mainland, even if I need to carry her up there in my back. That voice is from that voice comes from a not very big character. As you look up and you see an angry-looking little feisty fairy.
Oh boy.
I think Melda has probably encountered you before.
Yeah.
And so she goes, all right,
Yeah.
calm down, Azalea. You're not going to be able to make it up there yourself. I appreciate the enthusiasm, but...
Meanwhile, Isaac's back there in the back of the crowd, looking at her and the mage and just going, "You've got to be kidding me."
I may not be able to do it, but I mean to try. And try I will. Nobody is going to stop me. Hello?
All right. No,
Yes,
you're,
You're,
you're fine.
you keep
I just
expecting me to
face
step
palm.
in. I'm just.
Yeah. um Melda looks, and she genuinely looks like she's like proud that you care and a little bit heartbroken because she knows that if this is a one person thing, particularly a very small person, um it's probably going to be a suicide mission.
What?
So she it's probably going to be a death mission. You're
Mhm.
probably uh not gonna make it solo. Um and she looks genuinely a little bit sad, and she says, "We can find other islands, Azalea. We can find other places. I I I hate to say goodbye. I know. I grew up here. I love this island as much as anyone, but she kind of looks at this young mage who's not in the best health, clearly, and she says, "No offense meant, but I was hoping when I put out this summons for a mage to take over that someone capable would arrive. And I don't. I appreciate your willingness, but you definitely cannot do it alone."
I can do it with
She's.
her. You know why left the mainland with the other fairies?
I. Yeah.
My. It's because of my fairy dust. It makes magic more powerful. I can help her help herself.
The the mage who seems to be taking this seem pretty well kind of looks up, and she's been very very quiet up until this point, and she says, "I'm I'm sorry. I'm not I'm an apprentice mage. My the island I was working on, he trained a handful of us, and I wasn't exactly top of the class. So I'm not great. I'm I might be able to take over if you can get me to the top where the power center is, but I'm not a warrior. I'm not clever or a brilliant prodigy with magic or anything. So I'm I came as quick as I could, but I don't know if there's anything I can do to help if there's no one here to help yourselves."
What time of day is it?
And um it's probably about midday. It's nice enough.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit cloudy. Um you guys are getting closer and closer to the ocean, so the sound of waves is loud. There are occasional jolts and shudders from the island as you lose precious inches of dry land.
All right. So at this point, I think it's fairly clear that nobody else is going to step up. So Isaac kind of sidles up to the group. Good afternoon.
Yes, you came on the recent boat. I'm sorry. You you literally caught us at the worst possible time.
Story of my life. So, I couldn't help but notice that there's a certain lack of certain skills in this little party you've put together. Would you be interested in another volunteer?
Uh, of of course, if there's two definitely stands a better chance than one. No offense, Azalea.
Hey!
All right, I'm in.
Uh, Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Uh, you see some of the older folks have been kind of discussing in their own little pockets, like what they whether they stand a chance of going through, but these are these are farmers. They would stand no chance against any sort of magic, and they don't have any experience with that sort of stuff. So it's not out of cowardice necessarily um, that people aren't volunteering. It's maybe out of wisdom that they're not throwing themselves at this tower. um, and the the little the young woman in the chair looks at you two and goes, "I'm afraid I'm afraid I'll only be following you up. I'm not going to travel with you. I as I said, I'm any magic I have is going to be put into trying to tame the island, not clearing the tower."
So our job is to clear the path for you, and then you'll follow up. Got it. Are there any any dangers that we need to worry about lingering after we take care of them?
I I wouldn't know how he's set the tower at all. Each mage does their own set of security. I have no idea.
Isaac crosses his arms thoughtfully. Perhaps it's best you travel with us then, rather than try to follow up on your own.
Or you could come back and escort me.
That's fine with me.
She kind of motions to her limited capacity for navigating uneven terrain, and presumably you guys are headed into a tower full of stairs. Um, so, uh, yes, that is my way of saying good luck. I'm not sending anyone with you.
Okay.
Um,
As long as we don't have to worry about things popping up behind us and taking her out.
no, no, that would defeat the tone of the game. All right, so uh, you are um you are offered a little bit of equipment. It's not necessarily going to uh, pop up anywhere. You just tell me, in story, if there's something that you're like, oh, well, they probably gave us fill in the blank. If you guys want
Mhm.
rope or whatever. Um, uh, so, general adventuring accoutrement, general adventuring items, You assume you have them. Tell me what they are as you need them. You don't have to go hunting around for them. All right. I'm gonna say, um, all right. I'm gonna say that you are wished well. Uh, you are escorted up the mountain by some of the older folks, who are, um,
Oh, sorry. The
you still there?
yes.
Okay. Who are encouraging you and, kind of begging you at the same time to pull this off. Old people reminiscing about the generations that have lived here. Um, People threatening that they'll go down with the island. That they've been here and they're never going to leave. And as the island shakes, you find yourself nearing the door of this tower, as these folks begin to kind of drift off back down, leaving the two of you unless you have anything you want to do to interact with them before they leave.
Mm-hmm. Well, as we're doing all this, I just do some general asking around. Has anybody here been in the tower? Do they know what to expect? Do they know the route to the top?
You you get general general no's. There are people who are guessing, and you suss that you figure that out pretty quickly. There's people who are probably have theorized their whole lives what sort of bizarre magical things are happening in there. Um, but nobody nobody's ever been invited in. He would come down, collect supplies, but was very, very isolated, hence why he never took anybody on as an apprentice to take over when he inevitably passed away. Which is what you guys assume happened. Um,
But it is just an assumption at this point.
yes.
Okay.
His body didn't fall from the tower or anything.
Dramatic.
Right. He didn't
All right.
pull a Denethor and set himself on fire and go running off the edge or anything.
Are we like at the doors of the tower, or like at the bottom with, say, stairs going up, something?
You can you can tell me where you would like to be. Um, you can see that the tower is made of kind of this um, coral-like texture and marble kind of mixed together in this really weird juxtaposition of organic and inorganic. And there is a metal door at the end of this path that is the entry point to the lowest level of the tower. So you can be right there. You can be a little bit. You can be a little bit before you get up to the tower itself. You guys can tell me where you'd like to be.
I guess we could be right at the door trying to figure out how to open it. You okay with it, Yellow?
Yep.
All right.
Okay. There is a metal door with a sign that says, "Welcome those of Sufftree. Speak your purpose." It
Save
is
the.
engraved. It is engraved into the door. Go ahead.
Speak my purpose? Okay, save the island! Does anything happen?
You hear this statement, actually like reverberate in the door a little bit and then echo beyond it and then kind of fade out. But the door doesn't open.
That didn't work. Do you have any ideas?
Well, possibly it was passing that message on to the wizard, but the wizard may not be in any condition to respond. I am going to use my let me see. Do I want to do Secret Space Serviceman or Evidence Points to take a look, excuse me, at the door and see what I can figure out about the mechanisms? Hmm. Let's do Evidence Points too, since I don't have any. I don't have I don't have a tricorder or anything. I'm just going to use use logic. So, what difficulty rating am I looking at?
It's a door. Let's say it is easy.
Okay, which that's
That is a 0.
0. Okay,
Okay.
alrighty, and I got
Yeah.
a 0. Oh
We,
wait, +1 because
plus
I'm
one,
using
yeah.
evidence points too.
So, yeah, it's 1. You
So
got it.
1, yes.
All right.
So
Um, Remind me what exactly you try to figure out?
So I'm trying to
How,
figure out how this door is supposed to work from what I can see, uh, and sort of feel about this about it. Do I feel anything? Uh, anything I can detect when I touch the door? Sort of just feel the environment around me. Any patterns that emerge in the way it's constructed, any decorative things that may be more than decorative, stuff like that. Clues to how this door works.
sure. Um, you notice pretty quick that there is no door handle on the outside. Um, this is meant to be opened from within. There is no. It is a simple metal door. There doesn't seem to be any magic that electrocutes you as you reach for it, or there's this sign, and as you're mulling that over and the door that you've encountered, um, rather than give you information about the door that's going to be useful, that guess you made about the echoing of Azalea's announcement seems really on track. That this is you announce yourself and you're let in.
Hmm.
It is an open from the inside kind of door. However, there doesn't seem to be magic on it that is electrocuting you or anything, like I said. Are you applying pressure anywhere?
Yeah,
Okay.
just
Um,
pushing the door, trying to feel out the insides as much as the anything else.
sure, you push against the door and it goes, "Arr!"
It opens?
And it opens. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, all right. The door opens and there's this kind of musty air that hits you. It crackles a little bit as if there's built up static electricity, which to Azalea would be familiar because it's a sign of heavy magic use, or multiple magic items. Um, and the room is dark and it's hard to see what is inside. But it looks like a big, big room. You can see some chairs in the dim light just from the doorway. You can see a table. You can see wooden walls, but you're not really able to make out much more at the moment without stepping inside or lighting it up somehow.
Oh, that was that went well. I guess let's go in.
All right.
Sorry.
Let us take a look inside. Mhm. I flutter in.
And I step in after her.
All right. Uh,
Although I will say, as we are entering, I'm keeping sort of a general eye out on the surroundings.
Yeah.
I'm fully expecting the door to close behind us, but also uh, just general um, looking at the environment.
Yeah. And
yeah.
uh, and I just say, yeah. Be careful. There is a lot of magic here, but I do not know what for.
Duly noted.
And first illuminated by Azalea's glow, and then as Isaac's feet kind of hit the floor and step in the hearth fireplace on the opposite side of the room goes and bursts to life. Candelabras light up, and you see a beautifully set table with steam drifting from glazed teapots, set completely ready for a banquet with food steaming and an array of different delicacies, all covered in dust.
You know, for such a recluse, this guy seems pretty welcoming.
E-
You can see you are in a grand dining hall. Near the fireplace, there is a huge mirror that reflects the room back at you. It stretches from one side of the room to the other over top the fireplace. It's got a gilded golden frame, and that's the only thing that doesn't look a little bit cobwebby. Um, but you see this full service of a dinner table, gold, silver utensils, crystal goblets. Like I said, steam rising from food and drink, but no immediate door.
who was he
Ah,
expecting to receive? And why did he leave without receiving them? That's rude.
I casually pick up a uh, well, what kind of food have we got here? Is it like seafood or something?
It looks like there's a variety of things. Think very medieval feast,
Okay.
roast boar. Uh, there's definitely seafood here. Whether he had boar magically conjured or imported, who knows? Definitely more seafood esque, just from their location, but it looks like a variety of sweets and treats. Yeah,
Okay.
what are
I
you
just
grabbing?
I just curiously pick up a plate with, I don't know, a fish on it. It's a
Okay.
very strange thing to see fresh food with cobwebs on it.
It is true. You pick up a cobwebby, fresh, fresh looking fish that smells like recently baked fish and looks recently baked and has a layer of dust on it.
I set it back down. That was more a character thing than anything.
It replaces without exploding.
Okay. All right. Look around the room. Any stairs, he says, knowing that things will not be that simple.
I am more interested in that mirror. I'm gonna approach it carefully.
Okay. Uh, well, let's go ahead and I'll answer one question quickly. Are there stairs? There are not. There's also not a door to exit. Um, the door behind you that you just came from the outside has not snapped ominously closed, so that's a good thing. Um, but there doesn't seem to be. It's like you've entered a room that doesn't connect to anything. You're in an enclosed, although large, dining hall. Azalea, you are heading over closer to the fireplace with the
Yeah.
mirror over top.
Yes.
Okay. Um, you head over there. You see a beautiful mirror. Maybe a little bit overly decorated with its gold trim. You see a reflection of the room. You see a reflection of yourself. Um, it's clear. It's uh, nothing immediately upsetting. Why don't you take a bit of a look? Let's roll something for it.
Okay.
Let's see.
What do I have here?
I don't think anything you have is going to help you.
That's true. I was thinking
So,
about grabbing like a fork or something and poking the mirror carefully.
finder of
Not,
pokeable points.
yeah, find enough Pokeball
Hmm.
points. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I mean, if the mirror is what I'm thinking, something might happen.
Okay. Um, yeah, that is completely an option.
All right, I'm gonna do that.
Uh, I think that's funny, so I'm gonna give you that.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Uh, Start out with a fork.
I'm gonna grab a
Uh,
fork and just touch the mirror with the fork, not put too
okay.
much pressure. All right, do I need to roll
Uh,
anything?
uh, yeah, we're gonna do pokeable points.
All right.
Uh, because you are looking for a weak spot in my puzzle. Uh, all right, so let's say that this is average.
Average
Um, yeah.
is
It's not the hardest thing I'm going to throw at you today. It's going to be a 1.
a one. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, the. All right. I got a 2.
Oh, great. Okay. You gently, almost like you're tempting fate for something to kind of reach out and grab you back. Um, Push this fork towards the mirror and it ripples.
I think I found something. Uh,
I come up beside her. Well, mirrors aren't supposed to do that. You're right.
no. Maybe I should try to see where it leads. The mirror is above the fireplace, right? It's not on the ground level.
Correct.
Let's see. I'm gonna try to push this fork a little bit more inside the mirror and see if it just goes there. Leave it inside.
All right. I'm not gonna make us roll for that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you push this through, and almost like you're pushing it through a pudding or a jello, it just sort of deforms the smooth surface for a moment before getting sucked in slowly as you push. And then when you release, it kind of hangs there. Uh, and Like you're not putting a lot of pressure on holding it there. And this is a
Okay.
good sized fork because you're a little folk. So
Yes.
uh so it's just kind of, yeah, there seems to be something happening there. Um and I'll say at the same time as you're making this discovery, uh Isaac, let's I'm going to Hmm. I'm going to say evidence points. I'm gonna invoke that on you.
Okay.
And make you uh uh and make you um hear something um and spot something even in this warbled glass.
Okay.
You hear
So
you
so
hear a
since you're not invoking a negative aspect, I don't think you need to give
oh,
me
I
a
don't
token
have to
for
give
that.
you one. That's
Yeah.
right. Uh Sorry, rules are a little janky.
That's
I'm
fine.
not
Yeah.
super familiar with them. Um so you hear a ting, ting, and then through the warbling glass, this liquidish glass, as she's disrupted it, you see one of the teapots um, move, maybe. Um, at least it seems like one of the lids on the teapots has shifted uh, upwards and then been dropped back down.
Okay. Hmm.
But this is all happening behind you as you're watching her. You hear it, you see it through the warbled glass, but you're not looking at it. You're looking at it through the mirror.
Okay. Let's see. Being former U.S. Army and then Starfleet, uh, I'm immediately going to go on alert for weird things,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna spin around and assess the situation.
Um, you see the table. You see uh the teapots. You don't see anything abnormal.
Do you hear something just now?
Did I?
Uh, I'm gonna say you're busy at your Pokeball points. Um,
Wasn't
so
it me?
I'm gonna
What?
say you're absorbed in that.
Hear anything? Wasn't it just me, like, poking this mirror? I grab the fork and just wiggle it.
It kind of
Yeah.
as you as you wiggle it around in this liquid mercury looking glass.
Let me see. What sort of equipment do I want to have in terms of weapons? Let's just do sword and shield, I suppose. Um, I'm just gonna keep that shield handy in particular.
Okay.
So I'm on alert now. I'm watching the environment, the table in particular, but also just casting my eyes all around now and again, glancing back to the mirror occasionally. Something's going on, and I'm not sure I trust it.
Okay. All right, so you're on high alert. Uh Azalea, what are you doing with that fork?
I think it's time for us to stop just reflecting on the situation. And I just put my face into the mirror.
Um there's a little bit of resistance. It's not the best sensation, but you pop through that glassy surface into what seems to be a room that is a simple, almost like a black box of a room. It's small. It's not as small as you are. It seems to be for a humanoid sized, a human-ish sized person, but it's not a copy of the room you were in or anything. It's just this weird kind of almost like a coffin sized black box.
I found
Azalea?
something. There is something here. Can I get out of the mirror, or am I stuck?
Yeah, you can pull out of the mirror.
Throw.
Perfect. Thank you.
There is something there, behind the mirror. Try yourself.
I push it against the mirror a little bit, still glancing back at the table occasionally.
So you're gonna have to drag a chair over
Okay.
in order to get up, unless you're trying to push a hand through. If you want to get face through like she did, this is up
Starting,
above the mantle of the fireplace.
yeah, I'm just starting with a poke with my hand.
A similar sensation to what she experienced, a little bit of resistance and then cold air beyond.
I pull my hand back. What's back there?
That was just kind of dark to see. Do you have anything to light up the place?
Um, Presumably they would have, our equipment includes like torches and things. Well,
Yep.
this seems to be a high magic world. Are there like magical forms of illumination that are just common?
Um, Not maybe on mainland, maybe in other places, but unless you can give me a good reason you would have one, not in this farming village.
Okay.
But you
Um,
guys definitely have torches,
yeah.
and you have fire readily available at
Mhm.
the fireplace.
Okay.
Hey, if you light a torch and put it through, I might be able to see better what is inside.
Hopefully a torch can pass through whatever this is. Nevertheless, I take out a torch and light it on one of the candelabras.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to look around the table a little bit, see if there are any teeny tiny candles that are about torch size for Azalea.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, I would say there are some that are a little more melted down, that would fit, like not it would be like holding a, large mug or something. Like um it's not the best fit for her hands. They don't have any birthday candles or anything, um but yeah, there's stuff that would work. You can pry a candle out of one of the candelabras.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Anything that's in a candle holder that she might be able to uh, handle, so that she doesn't have to deal with hot wax dripping on her.
Um, you know what? I'll say sure. Why
Okay.
not?
All right.
I,
I grabbed one of them, lit it on the fireplace, and put it inside the mirror, and just my hand holding the candle and my face. I'm not going fully inside, and I take a look around. What do I see?
Okay. You pop into this little space. You see that there's something kind of reflecting as you push this candle in. There it is reflecting off the mirror behind you and bouncing light onto the room a little more, as well as illuminating this space a little bit. You got a actually, now that you're lighting it up, you got a good feeling for what this was. It is a small black box. There isn't anything immediately more interesting drawing your eye. Uh, let's see. Um, Actually, let's roll a fairy dust roll.
Okay.
Make any magic better.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if you find anything there. Um, let's make this because you guys can figure it out without it if you need. Let's make this a 2.
Okay. So chew. Oh, there's a 3.
Nice. Um, you see the kind of drifting fairy dust your body naturally produces starting to kind of spark against magic above you. Um, and you kind of crane your head and you look up, and there's something magically written, uh, these kind of glowing words. You can't make them out at this angle. Um, Along the top of the mirror on the inside.
Okay. Um, there is something written here. I will need to go inside to read. And I go inside.
Okay. Um, so Azalea disappears through the mirror completely. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Just confirming.
Yes.
And
Probably
you
a bad
turn
idea,
around.
but impulsive character.
There's nowhere. You die. No. You turn around and you see something magically written over the door, not the doorway, over the mirror, and you can see the room beyond, like you're looking through a window. I'm gonna say this is a roll without any modifiers, unless you want to do Pokeball points as a kind of trying to figure out my puzzle. Um, uh, but I'm gonna see if you crack it, if you figure out what's going on.
Okay, so there's something written. Do I understand what is written? Or
That's part of what I'm gonna. That's part of what I'm gonna see.
okay.
Is uh, see if you can solve my puzzle. Yeah.
All right, and
Um,
and I can see the room that I just came from.
Correct. Like you're looking through a window, you can see Isaac standing there, still on
Okay.
guard, um, uh, with his shield ready, and yeah, the room beyond. So let's go ahead. We'll call this an average because you're just looking at a room and seeing if you know a language.
All right. Average is
So a one.
a 1. Okay. That is 2.
All right. You notice a few things. You do not know the language. It looks like some sort of arcane language, probably knowing magic users, particularly mages. He probably came up with this himself. It's some sort of ciphered nonsense that you could crack if you wanted to spend the time. But there's something more interesting beyond that. It's the fact that against one of the walls there is a door that wasn't there before. As you're looking through this mirror at Isaac, about 10 feet away behind him on the wall is a door. And on the table, there are little, where the teapots are that you noticed when you came in, there are little creatures that are kind of burning in this white flame that you can see through the mirror, and the teapots don't seem to be there. You just see these little burning creatures sitting scattered across the table, watching Isaac.
Isaac, can you hear me?
Can I hear her?
Yeah, it's a little muffled, but you can hear her.
Yeah. It's like we're playing We Were Here again.
We were here. Yeah, we were here again.
Yes.
That
So
sounds
We
like
Were Here is a co-op game where you're stuck in a weird manner and have to solve puzzles together, and there's all sorts of weird symbols and stuff.
Yeah, and you are separated, so you need to communicate with one another what is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
As one have the answers to the other's puzzles and something like that.
Hmm.
And what one does affect what is happening on the other. Yeah. Okay. Isaac, from here, the table seems to be littered with creatures instead of tableware. Like the teapots are gone, and there are these creatures in white
Um,
fire.
I peer at the teapot, which presumably remains very teapotty, and say, I never cared for tea.
uh,
Nothing.
no, they don't seem to be particularly offended. Azalea, you don't see them react at all. They just seem to be kind of hunched, watching, almost like uh, little balls of flame. They're kind of shapeless little masses, except that you can see they have these little dark, circular eyes that are following wherever Isaac is.
They are
Um,
definitively looking at you, but they don't seem to be doing much.
Hopefully, that remains as is.
Hmm.
Do you see anything else?
Yes, there is a door where there's not supposed to be one. And I point the direction where it should be.
I can't see you. Here in the mirror.
Oops! I tell him the direction it is supposed to be.
okay. Uh, you follow the directions, I assume?
Yeah. Um, I don't see anything. It's just wall.
Poke it!
I touch the door, or the place where he says there's a bar.
You touch you touch wood, as is the wall around you. And Azalea, you see that his hand is probably 1 or 2 feet to the left from where there is a door handle.
A little bit to the right.
I try to follow her directions.
Um, your hand hits metal.
Ow.
Uh, and you find yourself encountering something that you can't see.
I try to. So it feels like a doorknob, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I try the doorknob and cast a quick glance at the table, and just in case there's any teapots leaping at me.
As your hand uh, circles around the doorknob, um, you hear some faint clinking behind you. You do a quick glance, and you see one of the teapot lids is popped open. And Azalea, you see that creature kind of lengthen a little bit as this thing is watching you intently. The one closest to you on the table. The others are still watching him, but this one has kind of straightened up a little bit.
One of
Oh,
the creatures are getting a little too excited.
so I can see the lid, but not the creature, right?
Correct. There's just steam pouring out of it.
Okay.
Is the lid like
I
floating for him?
Yes.
I experimentally remove my hand from the knob.
Uh, you see the the lid kind of settle back down.
Okay. I'm guessing it either is very interested or does not want me to open this door. You might want to come out here with me.
All right. I exit through the mirror. Uh,
Beautiful Foley, thank you.
I think we are getting somewhere. Whatever is inside that teapot may not want us inside this place.
Right.
I'm going to grab my sword. Just in case.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Go ahead.
No.
I bring out a tiny rapier. I mean, it doesn't look tiny compared to me, but it's little more than a needle for anyone else.
All right. Get ready to move. I'm going to open this door and we'll try to slip in quickly. Ready?
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. I try to open the door.
Uh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I fly in. Is
Well,
it?
the
Did
door
it
does
open? Did it open?
Yeah.
It didn't even.
That does help with whether you fly in or not.
Yeah.
But yes, it does. Um, the handle turns, the door is unlocked and swings open. Tiny and nimble, Azalea
Yep. Do I need to
zips
roll or just?
inside.
Yeah.
Uh, no, I think that's one thing I already know about you. I don't need.
Okay.
There's no risk of failure for it. What do you what are you doing, Isaac?
I'm going to try to dart in as well.
Okay. Uh, okay. Uh, I don't think I need to make you roll. I think you also have a solid plan. As soon as your hand kind of hits that door and you twist the knob, you hear clinking behind you, but by the time you've slipped in and shut it, yes,
Mm-hmm.
whatever was going to react to that didn't get a chance. Um, so you find yourselves standing at the bottom of a set of stairway, a stair. You find yourselves at the bottom of a stairwell. There we go. And you see that it heads upwards.
So I look up the stairwell and then groan a minute. Wait a minute. Whatever that is still going to be an obstacle for the mage. Not to mention the stairs.
Indeed. Maybe we can find a way to deal with the creature, but how to get her up this thing? I mean, with a little bit of ingenuity, we might be able to put a ramp on those stairs.
How long are we looking at?
They seem to go up. They circle around. So they seem to go up at least almost a full level, a full floor, as you kind of look up them and maybe peer around that curvature a little bit. Yeah, so it looks like it's leading you up to the next floor. So it's not just a few steps.
Yeah.
Do you think the former mage left something to, like, stop the creatures from attacking?
Maybe. Maybe they just knew him. Clearly, we have exited the public part of this tower. And
Yes.
strictly speaking, we don't know they'll attack. We just know they come forward.
Mm-hmm. We don't know exactly what they do, yeah.
Um,
That seems like something I can push us to. Let's try evidence points.
okay. All right
Um,
then. So, what from their
or
behavior?
or you can do
Well,
secret space if you think that uh encountering an alien
hmm
creature would fit better. Either one of those.
yeah. My main thing is that I couldn't actually see it, so I don't have any way to get a good read on it.
That is true. But you guys did hang out in there for probably a good 10 minutes, 15
hmm
minutes. And nothing happened that you know of.
um, tell you what. You open the door just a little bit, and I'll try to poke to see what's going on back on the room we were.
Poke the room or poke the creature?
No, I'll take a look. Not poke. Just look through the. Yeah.
All right. I crack the door open just enough to let her see through.
Okay. Uh, you peek through. You don't see much because the fire has died down, and it is now a dark, empty room. Um, not empty, but a darkened room, devoid of firelight, as the candles in the fireplace, and the only light kind of being given off is from that open doorway to outside. Um, it's all quiet and it's all dark again.
I don't think it's a good idea for me to go all the way back there, but everything's dark now.
I mean, that makes sense. The room only lit up when we entered.
Indeed. Do we press forward, or do we try to deal with the creatures in the teapots?
I think we need to figure out how to deal with the creatures in the teapots, if, or at least figure out if they need dealing with.
Maybe if the mage left a diary, or at least notes on how they used their magic. That could give us some pointers on how to act.
Maybe. So get to the top, figure out what's what, and then come back, do you think?
I think that's a good idea. If we can find some clues instead of just going there not knowing exactly what we're dealing with.
Okay,
It's true, you
congratulations,
are.
Nora. We are running your dungeon 3 times.
That is true. You do have to come back down and out. Um, so you will be, in theory, going through this room again. So it's not pressing you deal with it at this very moment.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably the way to go, which leaves us with he gestures at the stairs. You know
That,
what? This isn't a direct threat, actually. We can just push her up when once the way is clear.
yes, if she can
Yeah,
get
if
on
it
that place of power that she mentioned, maybe she can do something to redecorate. I mean, this place is entirely made by the mages.
Well, let's hope. Up to the next level then?
Let's go! And I zoom up.
What?
All right. You head up the stairs. illuminated by the presumably you've kept your torches and your candles.
Yeah.
And you head up this stone stairway that curves around, and that kind of musty, dusty smell that you left behind is replaced by what smells like decaying leaves and grass as you uh, kind of pass through some sort of invisible barrier about halfway up the stairs, and uh, there is what seems to be sunlight lighting up the room above you as you turn and see an open archway, no door, and the smell kind of hits you. And Azalea, you zip up first, so you are the first one to encounter what looks like a forest.
Um, that seems too big to be fit inside of a tower.
That is correct. I'm targeting it. Uh, it is bigger on the inside. Um,
As I come up behind her, I say, "Well, it is a magic tower."
Indeed, at least this place seems nice.
you see these birch trees, these white birch trees that have been intertwined and like tied together to make ornate patterns, um, as if someone's been manipulating them since saplings. Um, and then they just sort of stopped. So the base of them is all strangely intertwined and braided and shaped, but then they just go straight after a while. Um, and there's an overgrown path that leads further into this forest or room, with a sign pushed in at the immediate entry of this forest. It's a simple wooden sign that says, "Silence is golden, and it is your boon."
What is
Or
golden?
it silence. Silence
Silence.
is golden, and it is your boon, or gift, or good luck. And you see this beautifully manicured glade. Uh, a soft breeze kind of drifts through. There's an opening. It looks like a field, kind of in the center almost, um, of where you've entered. That's surrounded by this forest. It's kind of a half circle shape up against the doorway, and there's a large willow tree in one side, near kind of across from where you guys would enter. But other than that, there doesn't seem to be any animals. You don't hear any birds. You don't hear insects. It's just sort of this quiet zone of forest. Um, what are you gonna do?
Don't
Sorry, were you gonna do something,
yeah.
Shifty?
Don't this place seems a little bit too quiet?
I pointed the sign.
That would explain it, I think. It is still weird. A forest like this should be brimming with sounds of birds and insects and other stuff.
Quietly, I say, "Well, it's a magical forest."
Indeed,
I
but what I mean is, what does he want with a silent forest? What's the meaning of this?
Well, I'm going to use evidence points to see if I can find any uh, patterns, anything that stands out that might uh, give me a reason, sort of a mechanical causation for why we're supposed to be silent, or what that phrase might mean in this context. What difficulty am I rolling?
Yeah. I would say with what you have right now, just at the very um, before you've really entered, inspected things, poked around at all, I'm going to say that's not a possible roll.
Okay.
So don't bother yet.
Yeah.
Move around a little bit, inspect the space a little bit, and then absolutely.
Okay. I make a zipping motion towards my mouth and hoping that she knows what the heck that means, and step into the area, have a look
Alright.
around.
I point upwards and start moving towards the canopy to see if
Okay.
there's anything like up above in the trees.
That's very interesting. Okay. Um, all right. So she's headed towards the canopy. Where are you headed? Uh,
You said there was a
Yellow.
big tree in the middle of a clearing, right? Or am I
Hmm.
misunderstanding?
Nope, you're absolutely right. There's a big willow tree.
Okay, I guess I'll go and check out that tree in that clearing.
Okay. Um, so let's deal with that first.
Okay.
Um, so you head over to that tree. Um, you see that there is a watering can set next to it. And now let's go ahead and do a quick uh, let's do an evidence points to um, see if you notice a second less obvious thing.
Okay. What am I rolling? Uh,
Let's do an easy,
okay,
and
so that's
then if you get a tricky, there's a third thing you'll get.
okay.
So a
So
zero, zero, or
zero,
a two will
zero,
give
or
you
a two.
something.
Okay. Do. Zoop. So I got
You
I
got
got
less
negative
one.
one.
Oh no. Um, you you don't pick up anything immediately that is out of place other than that watering can, kind of nestled at the roots of this big willow tree. Um, and you hear rustling of leaves that almost sounds like a bird moving. And just to kind of explain why you haven't noticed things, and so you kind of turn to follow that noise, and then you're like, "Oh, yeah, that's Azalea headed up through the branches to see what's going on up there." So those kind of cracking and shifting sounds of leaves are from her. So we'll come back to you in just a second. Azalea, you pop up and you go boom against a fake sky. Um,
Welcome to the Truman
as
Show.
uh, as you hit what seems to be a magically shifting series of clouds and beautiful blues and a sun that is all just stopped. It's you kind of hit a painting of what the sky would look like on a near perfect day, and yet it's producing light. It's not hot. You don't feel heat from it. Uh, but there's nowhere to go. You just kind of emerge through the leaves and you expect to get a little bit higher, and you realize the tops of these trees are actually kind of pushing up against the sky.
Hmm. Oh,
So this is a room.
okay. I'll keep moving towards the willow tree. And I'll try to silently maybe get the attention of Isaac. Like
Okay.
wave a lot.
All right, but you're staying up high.
Staying up high, yes.
Okay.
Well, I was just looking towards where you were rustling through, so unless there's trees in the way, you will probably have my attention pretty easily.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. I'm just gonna touch the sky and show that it's a solid thing, not a true sky.
Yeah, I get the message, and just nod.
Actually, I'm gonna invoke this doesn't necessarily it's not gonna do anything negative. I
Hmm.
just like the idea. Um I would say a chill kind of runs down your spine, realizing that you are trapped in uh, a fake world, which is kind of where you started your life, and that's sort of upsetting. Um, so there's just this sort of weird, like you said, Truman Show sort of thing where you're like, I'm not where I belong, or I am where I belong. It's not great. It's not a great feeling.
Okay.
So
Um,
I'm gonna give you one of those for that, I think, if that's okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, so what sort of effect does that have on actions? Are you compelling me to do something?
I think I'm going to say that it is going to maybe make you want to leave this room a little more than uh, hang out and inspect everything. Like maybe put a little more urgency into things, a little less caution.
Okay.
Um, just because uh, you're not sure what you've just walked into, but it's eerily familiar, and that's
Mhm.
not a great feeling.
Yeah. Okay.
But you can decide how that plays into that
All right.
as things continue.
Okay. Rather than me rolling, I'm just gonna take a just as an action, I'll take a look around. Tell me what stands out to me.
Um, this is the only willow tree. That's a bit odd. Um, you see Azalea tapping the sky. That's not great. The only things that you've noticed so far that are non-natural items are this watering can and the sign at the entryway. Um, and there is a breeze,
Okay.
which must be emanating from somewhere if the sky isn't real.
Hmm. Okay. I'm going to examine the watering can really quick. Is there anything unusual about it? Any writing or anything?
You you look it over. It looks like a metal watering can, like a gardener would use. Nothing immediately odd that piques your interest. Um, yeah, it doesn't immediately scream trap or um, magic or anything like that. Just looks like a
Okay.
watering can.
And it's not golden, is it?
It is not.
Okay. Um, and is there anything unusual about the willow that suggests a connection to the watering can besides just watering?
Um, uh, let's go ahead and I'm gonna say this isn't
Evidence points to.
uh, actually I'm gonna because I've pushed us into a hard light hologram thing,
Mhm.
and you are trying to piece together a story in a little fake world.
Ah, okay.
I think I kind of want to use that one, if that's all right.
All right.
So let's do this as let's do this as I want to say tricky, but an average will get you something else. So a one or a two.
One or a two. Okay.
Yeah.
So. This is a clearly constructed world. I'm trying to make sense of the why of its construction. Okay.
Right. What's the plot here?
That
Ooh.
you
-2.
So explain to me why that doesn't work.
Um, this is just completely the wrong context here. Um, I am from a place which had a very strong narrative construct,
Mm,
and everything was in service to that central story. This is it has a very different focus. This is the sort of self-expression of a very likely quite eccentric person.
that's a great explanation. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what are we doing next?
do I feel the breeze as
Anything
well?
Azalea wants to do?
I think my middle mouse button is it's with some problem and I keep zooming in when I don't want to. All right. So do I feel the breeze too?
Yes, yes.
I'm while Isaac's like pondering his life or something. I'm just going to follow the breeze, try to see where it leads.
Okay. You're just kind of directionally trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Yes, yes, and trying to go there.
Okay.
Uh,
Uh,
I guess like butterfly wings, able to fly. I probably know well how wings work. If I need to
yeah,
roll anything, yeah.
you probably know the winds pretty well. You need to know those to fly without getting smashed into stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, let's go ahead and I'm gonna say this isn't easy for you because flying's your jam and you should know how the winds work. So go
Alright.
ahead, 0.
It's a 0, okay?
-3.
No, that's a 2.
Okay.
My dice is
Uh,
being more nice to me than yours.
Yes.
yes. Although yellow I keep giving him trickier ones, so I think that's partially my bad. Um all right. So, you notice something uh that is abnormal. It's this steady heading one direction, heading back the same direction. So it's blowing to the north, blowing back, turning around and going back to the south. And so it's this steady kind of back and forth, almost rocking of the air. Um, and uh, you track it kind of back um, towards Isaac. Uh, and you just kind of feel being pushed one way and pulled back, pushed one way and pulled back. It's not natural. It's not the natural flow of a breeze.
So it's
Okay.
not a loop. It's more like
Rocking back and forth.
Yeah.
Hmm. Uh, I signal to Isaac again, and I make a motion like I still trying to be silent. I'm blowing like motion like I'm blowing. I'm trying to get him to pay attention to the wind, and I follow how the wind is moving as exactly as I can.
Okay. Um,
I will let it rock me back and forth.
okay. Uh, so I think, Isaac, you probably catch on to that. There's really only one other person in the room,
mhm.
so, uh, she's small, but she's not super easy easy to ignore as
Yes.
your partner on this. You see her kind of doing this rocking back and forth, breathing motion, trying to express the oddity of the air. And you feel it too. It's not something you necessarily are attuned to most of the time, but you definitely feel that kind of rocking motion as you see her trying to find, like, where is this emanating from or what's pushing it. And she keeps drifting kind of closer and closer to you, trying to find that.
Okay, so she's drifting towards the tree. Okay. I'm
Yeah,
going I'm going to use a token,
yeah.
and I'm going to say that the last time the mage was here, he left something, some trinket, well, maybe a scrap of paper, maybe a pen, maybe a book, I don't know, um, in a place where he spent a fair bit of time. And
That is
I'll say I
that
spot that.
is yeah, that is excellent. I will absolutely take that. That is actually something that you missed on your roll, so that is a great use of a token. Um, you see in the willow, uh, as you're kind of watching Azalea drift back and forth, there is something in one of the branches, kind of up as you're watching her drift, that is catching the light. And there is a set of a golden ring of skeleton keys up in the branches, and a small bag that is tied uh, up well above your head. Um, but next to the keys, um, as if they were slid over this branch at some point. And you can see that the branch has almost filled in around those keys, and is starting to, like, they're tightly on there, um, as if they've been slid on there and the tree has grown since.
Hmm. Okay, I'm going to point them out to Azalea since she's the one who can reach them most easily, but
Yeah.
I suspect she's not going to be able to get them off.
Yeah.
But there's
How
still the
okay.
bag.
Yeah. How entangled are these stuff there? What are the chances that I can pull it off and do it silently?
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna invoke your the tiny part of your tiny and nimble, and
Mm-hmm.
say that is not something you can do.
Okay.
You are not going to be able to pull those off. You see that there are small branches that have grown since. This is a heavy set of keys,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to wrestle them off this branch, they're almost as big as you are. Um, doing it
Okay.
silently, almost impossible. Doing it at all, 50-50.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
So
There are some
she can get
excellent.
to them.
So silence is or boom. So shaking those keys is probably gonna be a big of problem. Uh, can I cut the branches? Are they too thick? Because I do have a sword,
You have a rapier.
a rapier, which
And you
has
can
a little
stab
bit of a blade. Yes, it is a stabbing sword, but some rapiers do have a little bit of a blade.
Swords in general aren't good at cutting wood, though.
Yeah, they're not. They're especially one that is tiny. Yeah. Okay.
Love
Anyway.
the idea. Not gonna roll with that.
All right.
What about the bag?
Yeah, I'm just gonna look inside the bag instead of trying to get it out of the tree.
Oh, okay. So these are two separate items. The bag looks almost like a coin purse. It's smallish. Um, and it's a it's closed with a string. It's an easy to open pouch. You're gonna just pop that open, see what's in there?
Yep.
Okay. You pop that open and you see that there is a handful of pixie dust, and that is kind of at the bottom of the bag. And then there are seeds that are in little jars in there. And it looks like uh, just a selection of different seeds and then something to magically enhance their ability to grow in a non outdoor environment.
Can I grab those seeds?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna show it to Isaac and point to the can of water. Maybe we're supposed to grow that stuff.
I shrug and pick up the watering can. Better idea than anything I've got at the moment. Although I can probably get those keys. This is just me thinking to myself, by the way. I'm not speaking.
Okay.
But I can probably get those keys if we need to. And we probably do. But I motion for her to come down. I select and grab the watering can, and I'll let her direct me toward where she wants to try to water the seeds.
Okay.
All right. What about right below the keys?
That's awfully close to the existing tree, but okay, I can't really voice that. I just give her a, that wibbly hand gesture. It's a willow tree, right? That means it's broadly straight, not a whole lot of handholds.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I do have rope, though.
Some thin branches as you start getting out.
My logic is that it may be used to quickly grow something that can be used to reach the keys.
Would be, maybe.
Even though I should not have said this out loud because
Yes.
I cannot say.
Well, the idea is pretty clear from you gesturing to plant the seed beneath beneath where the key. Where is the key exactly on this tree?
It is hanging. It's not super close to the base, to the trunk. It is hanging probably good 8 feet or so off the ground. So you don't need a huge boost, but enough. You're not going to be able to. It's 8 feet beyond your reach. I'll say that.
8 feet beyond my reach. Okay.
Yes. Let me rephrase. It's not 8 feet off the ground. It's 8 feet beyond your reach.
Okay.
So.
Just a minute. I need to take a bio break. I will be right back.
Okay. Do you want me to keep trying things in your absence or wait?
You can try to keep trying things, so it's not just dead air.
Okay.
But yeah, I was trying to hold on to a transition, but I can't.
This will take a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Is there anything is the watering can full?
It is.
Is there anything unusual about the water?
Um, Not that you immediately see.
Okay. Uh, very gentle experimental sprinkle on the tree, if you please.
On the willow tree?
Yes.
Okay. Um,
Just a couple drops.
you okay. You pour a little bit of water on the willow tree, on the kind of exposed roots or like the ground below it. What are you doing?
Um, Basically sort of at the base of the tree, where I can be fairly confident that there's going to be roots down there. Um, the place where you
Oh,
would naturally water a tree, in other words.
okay. All right. Uh, you pour a little bit of this water, very careful not to loudly slosh it against the metal can, and the ground grows a little damp. Um, uh, let's let's roll real quick
Okay.
with a uh you know what? I'm gonna do a secret spaceman, and I'll tell you why when you're done. And let's do an average.
Okay.
So a one.
Wait a minute. This token is here. Is that one I was granted, or is that just left over from somewhere?
I gave you one for being nervous about being in a hologram.
Yes, but I think I spent that.
I don't know. You should have 3 to 4.
Okay.
So you know what? You can keep it. I don't.
All
It's
right.
not the end of the world. Uh,
Okay. Rolling secret spaceman. Two.
okay. Uh, 2 is gonna pass the average, so that's perfect. Um, you are pouring water. You're feeling that rocking breeze, and you haven't had a whole lot of experience with this necessarily, but it's just enough. You've had just enough time with the absolutely wild variances of species across the universe that this specific experience you might not have encountered before, but you uh, find yourself uh, pouring this water, kind of tracing that breeze, and suddenly noticing that uh, there is a face on the tree, and that this is a species of something, much like many of the alien species you've encountered before.
Ooh, aliens.
This is a thing.
Okay. Hello, Shifty. The tree has
Hi.
a face.
Oh, okay.
And that breeze that's rocking back and forth,
Oh, it's breathing.
it's breathing.
Okay. This tree face, is it aware of me? Is it paying attention?
Its eyes are or where eyes would be, which would probably why it doesn't stand out quite as starkly, because there's no identifiable eye sockets. You just see this long kind of hooked nose and a open uh, gash where you assume a mouth is. Um, And that's where you see these long, slow breaths coming in and out. And you don't see eyes. You just see this long hooked nose and that slightly opened mouth where the air is being pulled in and pushed back out.
Okay. So Pocahontas. Hmm.
All right. Did the seed do anything?
Well, I haven't tried the seed yet.
Oh, okay.
I watered the tree to
Ah,
see if it did anything. Um,
got it. Yeah, just trying to situate myself back into the what is going on.
um, Glancing at Azalea, I pointed my face and then pointed the face.
I go a little closer and then I see what he means.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you
Uh,
see a face and you identify that rocking motion of the air as inhales and exhales from this thing that's so slow but powerful and deep that you didn't notice that was where it was coming from.
okay. So we have a sleeping tree ant of sorts, and we still have no idea how to proceed to the next place.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys haven't seen a door yet
Or a place for a key.
or a place for a key.
The tree doesn't have any, other than the face. The tree doesn't have any sort of holes or anything that I could squeeze myself inside or like the trunk's
Uh
solid.
you want to get in its ear?
Not
Um do you
not
want to do a
necessarily.
quick circle of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Um you uh you flutter around quick and you see a door in the back of the tree. There is metal a gold metal door that is kind of grown into the back of this thing. But where the door step is a few feet off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So you see that there is a door. You see that there's a keyhole in that door where we're playing fast and loose with how small you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you can tell me if that's something you can slip into or under the door. But there's no immediate like uh, enter here to find hidden dungeon uh, holes or anything.
Yeah, it's not a deco tree. Okay.
It's
Uh,
yeah.
so can I at least take a look at these openings? Maybe look through the keyhole, see if I can see anything.
You poke your head against the tree, against the keyhole, and you see. Let me look. Yeah, in a faint blue glow, there are stairs headed upwards.
Okay. I'm going to go back around. Not fully. I'm gonna go back around and signal to Isaac to follow me.
Okay. I follow you around, see the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I do a motion like of someone going up the stairs
Mhm.
and point at the
I get it.
door.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna walk back around to where the key is. Does it look climbable?
You could climb the tree. You could climb this faced tree. The branch itself is hanging out into the clearing, so you can't climb a tree next to it. That won't help. But you could get up. Um, it probably won't be smooth, but you could get up into it a little bit, and if you cut off uh, a good thick branch, it'll take down that smaller branch further out that's attached to it.
Something
So
tells
that
me
is a
lopping.
possibility.
Yeah,
Huh?
something tells me lopping off branches off a tree with the face is not a good idea.
Um,
Okay.
you could also attempt to climb out onto that branch and lower it.
Okay.
Uh, uh, using your body weight to push it towards the ground. But then you're on a branch and still Azalea can't get the keys off.
Hmm.
So,
And the
So
keys are probably going. And the keys are
how
probably
thick
going to make
is
noise. Yeah.
yeah. How thick is the branch that the keys are on?
um, probably about fist, maybe a little
Okay.
smaller, about the size of your fist.
And it's a willow branch, so it's flexible, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hmm. Well, the water in the watering can had to come from somewhere. You know what? I'm overcomplicating this. Okay, what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to tie a stone to the end of my rope. I'm going to
Mm.
try to loop it over the branch and pull down like that. Um, and this is a matter of bending without breaking. I'm going to apply my judo.
Oh,
See
lovely. I like it.
how
Uh, I
far I
think
can.
this is very smart.
Okay.
I offered you rope in the beginning, so this makes perfect sense. Let's say this is easy.
Okay. And two.
Two.
All right, awesome. Easy enough. You throw this rope with a rock attached from just the nearby field, tied to one end over the branch itself. Um, you do hear a little bit of, cracking and stuff as this rock collides with, other branches around it. But with a two, you've beat me well. So I will say it's not much as the rock hits the ground on the other side. And you have some leverage to pull this rope.
Okay. Can I bring the key to within grasp?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to, at this point, I'm going to try to just gently sort of massage the keys off of the branch at this point. And
Okay.
if I need to roll for that, I'm going to do judo again, the gentle way. Gentle, patient.
I would say I would say that's a roll because you're basically trying to steal a ring off someone's finger while they're asleep. So let's say that this is. I can't say that's average. Let's say this is tricky.
Okay, so I need
It's a
two or better. All
two.
right. Well, give it a go, I suppose. Two.
Two. Exactly two.
Nice.
So
All right.
gently, patiently, I slip the
These
key
very
ring.
flexible willow branches. Yep. The little twigs just sort of, bend and manipulate as you slide this off. Presumably, you're trying to keep the keys from rattling against each other
Mm-hmm.
as you do so, and it finally comes off the edge of the branch, uh, and the last few leaves on the tip kind of jostle back and forth as you are holding a ring of golden keys.
Okay. I'm going to ease the weight off the branch, let it return to its previous position, and then back around to the door.
I love it. Great.
I'm just looking at everything, kind of trying to hold myself like super, looking excited. Yeah, we're gonna move on.
Talk to each other. Um, yeah, there's this. It's a little bit odd because you have to reach almost above your head to get to the lock. Um, because the tree has grown since the door was installed. Um, and yeah, you reach up, it quietly clicks and swings open.
Okay. In I go, and I'm going to leave that rock as a door jamb.
Oh, okay. All right. So you prop the door open, and Azalea, you follow in?
I'm following in, and I'm going
Wonderful.
up,
Uh,
and when we reach the next level, I'm like, I can speak again. Oh my goodness, that was difficult.
I glance back down the corridor. This place really is not disability compliant.
it is not.
Not at all. It's like the previous habitant used magic to go up and down.
Well, let's hope our new mage can do that too. Because I do not want to have to pull her up all these stairs.
Uh,
All right, let's take a look around.
as you guys start going up the stairs, you pass
Didn't we
what
already
looks.
didn't we
Oh,
already go to the next level?
well,
I was thinking we would want to stay quiet until at least we reach the next level.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
okay. Well, the stairs circle around, and then they seem to circle around again. So you don't encounter a room, you encounter a second level of stairs.
Okay. So it's just a
Um,
longer staircase, or is
it's
it
a longer staircase than the previous one, yes.
continuous, or is there a landing?
There is a landing, um, where you see a metal wheel that has handles. Uh, like it's clearly for cranking this. And there is this blue glow and these little globules, these little bubbles of blue that are sort of dripping like rivulets of rain going across a window when you're in a car, but they're going up. You see them kind of emerging from the floor and trailing up the walls and going up this second staircase, defying gravity.
Um, I pick a stray leaf out of my hair and toss it onto the globules.
Okay, you kind of tuck it in one of the globs.
Well, I'm just kind of tossing it into that space.
Okay. As it hits one of these glowing blue things, you see it kind of absorbs into it, breaking the surface tension, and continues being dragged up uh, along the wall.
Okay. So
Um,
so it's not that gravity is it's not that things are moving upwards, that the globules make things move upward.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at that wheel. Does it have any sort of like chain or rope attached to it?
No,
No,
it
it's
just
just
seems to be built into the wall.
okay. And I
And what do we see up? When we look up the stairs as far as we can, what do we see?
Uh, you see that the further up, the more kind of these blue globs of liquid are emerging from the edges of the staircase where they meet the wall, and it just seems like there's a wall of this running liquid moving upwards. Um, the further the further you go up, the more you see it kind of congregating. Um, and as you kind of poke your head up towards where you would presume if this was a whole another level, uh, you see that it has stopped and is actually filling the rest of the stairwell with it um, merging across the the stairs now. It's no longer just running upwards. It's almost like you're looking at a pond from upside down.
Okay. So
It's
it's broadly
collecting.
it's broadly stable, right? Not visibly increasing in depth.
It does look like it's stable, yes.
Okay. Something tells me we don't want to touch this stuff.
hmm.
I, for one, do not want to drown on the ceiling.
Huh. That's a conundrum. I anti-gravity water. What should uh,
Okay, so, well,
and the
we have
wheel.
the. Did you notice anything useful about the wheel, Shifty?
No, just a wheel attached to the wall. Apparently, I cannot see it attached to any sort of contraption.
Okay.
At least that's what I
I'm
inferred.
okay. I'm going to use my knowledge of controls with Secret Space Serviceman to see if I can infer anything about the wheel.
Okay.
All right. What am I rolling? Versus.
Good question. Um, I would say this is average with the wheel.
Okay.
So one.
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 Hey. You see that this wheel is meant to be. It has hand grips, it has metal hand grips on it. It is clearly inviting to be turned. It runs into the wall, um, but uh, there's no immediate contraption around it that indicates to you why. Um, it's something that is meant to be turned or tempts people to turn it, and it runs into the wall, and there is liquid running from the wall upwards. Um, you see that the handle is pointing up, like the position of the handle on the wheel is pointing upwards, uh, towards the staircase that is heading up. Like it's been moved into a position kind of as close to parallel with the stairs as it could be, uh, given that it's horizontal. Um, so it's not just like hanging at the bottom or cranked to the very top or anything. It's sort of uh, pointing towards the stairs upwards.
Okay.
But no immediate revelation, no instruction manual falls out.
Isaac says, I guess I'll try turning this a little bit.
What direction are you turning it?
Um, so,
You have the option of up or down.
mhm. Wait, up or down? I thought it was already as up as
So
it could get.
it is uh I'm not quite sure how to explain without an image. It is not at the top. It is center, and if the stairs upwards are to the right, it's on the right side. Whereas if the stairs that you came from are on the left, it is opposite that. So it is a wheel, there is a handle. The handle is on the left side, uh, pointing, quote unquote, the direction of the stairs going up. There is an up position, a right position, and a bottom position.
Okay, so is
Does
this
that help?
eh?
Oh,
Eh? Let's see. Can I
Is it
freehand
an,
draw? Let me
let's
see.
see. Let's try to make
All right, I'm
something like that.
freehand drawing. All
Yeah.
right. So we have stairs going up. Boop, 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 boop. We have stairs going down. Boop, 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 boop. We have wheel. Boop, boop, boop. Uh, and there are little spokes on it in my imagination. Yay! And there is a crank lever sort of thing attached to it.
Okay.
So it is pointing towards the ones going up, not towards the ones going down, or top or bottom.
Okay,
That
so this is
track?
embedded in the wall.
Yes.
Okay. And we're in a s- we're in a sort of tower thing that's square and not
The
round.
tower is circular.
As tower
Yeah.
circular. Okay.
Is
Yes.
the stairs like spiral stairs?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
I thought I'd established that. They
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
my
curve.
impression, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, you
Um,
you did. It's just the wheel
Okay.
is turning a crank in our heads.
okay. I'm going to. So, is it just four positions, or does it move freely?
Um, you'll have to turn it and find out.
Okay, I'm going to turn it a little bit. I'm going to pull it downwards a little bit. So, still pointing towards the stairs, but at a lower position than it's in now.
Okay. All right, so you're gonna kind of like crank it this way.
Yes, just a
All
little
right.
bit to start.
As you start moving it down, you both see those rivulets that are running upwards, or running in that direction, up the stairs, start slowing and sort of sinking down a little bit.
Okay. Keep slowly pushing.
Downwards.
Mm-hmm.
You see the rivulets start to uh, no longer go running up the walls, but now are what's already there is drifting downwards, and then you hear a as water above starts hitting stairs, and you see water starting to run down the stairs.
Okay. So, is this like some blue goo, or does it look like water?
It is glowing waterish stuff. I'm using water because I'm gonna say it's clear, with a bluish tint and glow. That kind of mysterious. I don't know if you've ever been to a mini golf where they have water that's a little too blue. It's kind of that feel.
Hmm.
And it
So like a
glows.
very chlorinated swimming pool.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Like water with food coloring. It's supposed to look a little more magical than it should.
It's supposed to look a bit more like water.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Your shoes are now getting wet.
Okay, but no further effects beyond my shoes getting wet.
Uh, as as you've slowly cranked downwards, no, the water is very steadily draining downwards.
Okay. But it's not doing anything to me when it comes into contact, aside from just
It is not.
normal watery stuff. Okay.
Correct,
Um,
correct.
okay. I guess I'll just keep it about where it is as long as the flow doesn't seem too overwhelming. Let it drain.
All right. You stand there, you watch as it drains around your legs. Azalea, you are happy to be flying as you see his clothing is starting to kind of get stained with this blue coloration and glow as it hits his pants and boots. Now that it's starting to actually slow down. There's a point where the highest point is now visible against your legs and probably on the skin underneath. Um, uh, Although being what you are, I'm not sure that's true. Anyway, uh, all right.
What?
You
I actually kind of
have
forgot
not
that.
you have not drowned in my water puzzle. Um, you do, however, remember that you have left the door below open. So presumably this is draining somewhere down below. All
Okay.
right. The
I muttered to myself, well, hopefully it tastes like blue Kool-Aid.
uh, you are able to release the handle and can continue upwards if you would like.
All right, I guess we
I was
continue
really hoping
upwards.
you guys would just start messing with that.
Yeah.
Well, you
Get
should know.
dyed blue like a Smurf.
You should know by now how I approach things.
I know. But I wanted you to play around with it.
Well,
Yeah.
that might have happened if the only other party member, the party member who might have done something like that, wasn't too small to work the knob.
Yes, I probably would. Yeah, I probably would have started with the thing if I wasn't tiny.
Yeah. But you're right. He probably doesn't stain, and he hopes that she doesn't notice. Anyway, right?
All
Well,
right.
that was simpler than I expected. Let's head up.
All
All right.
right. You head up and encounter another doorway without a door. You see that there is a uh, along the walls, there's kind of a place where the water settled that is dyed blue. Um, and that there's a certain point where that stops, which is that doorway leading into the next room. Um, and you see that there is a huge room with books open, and there is a bed with the sheets kind of scattered around, a full length mirror, a wardrobe, a large wooden table with a bench that's like attached to it, like half of a picnic table, that's covered in glass tubes and in bits of herbs and in books and papers, and an open circle in the ceiling that is about 30 feet above this room. And the room curves up into that opening uh, and has this big rounded ceiling with mosaics and just beautiful glittering pieces of glass that reflect the light that is coming from torches that light up, and twinkling lights that flare as you approach the room. And you see what looks like a bedroom slash study slash
Library?
laboratory,
Laboratory.
all mixed into one chaotic mess of a eccentric mind without many people visiting.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um,
He should get his bedroom more organized. What's wrong with this guy? He doesn't seem to be able to finish anything before disappearing.
you want to see about see about getting us up that hole, and I'll see what I can find out about what he was doing
Sure thing. I'll fly up there and see what is going on with the hole.
with the hole.
Yeah, the hole in the
Well,
ceiling.
this is the first time I've had
Flying
because of this
character.
a flying character. So this is barely a puzzle for you.
Yeah,
Barely an obstacle.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I was worried about that. uh, uh, I asked your permission to have a flying character.
yeah, no, I love it. It works perfectly for a one shot.
Okay,
Uh, so it's not a bad thing.
okay.
I don't have a problem with it. You fly upwards, and you immediately enter, or immediately can see, if you don't want to enter, a room above that is kind of following that mosaic pattern, but now it's stained glass. And there's light peering from behind this steady stream of pale light that is casting these wild colors all over this room. And in the center of it is this cracked circular shape that you can see is just buzzing with that sort of static electricity feeling of magic. And you can almost see it like leaking, that magic like leaking out of the cracks of this floating circular sphere that is kind of perched. You can see you're not dead center of this room. It's a little bit further out in another circular room, and you're kind of off to one edge of the circle. And next to that floating sphere is a body.
Ooh. Uh, does this body looks familiar?
Um, let me see. I
I,
would say, with your having been on the island for a little while, you'll at
Mhm.
least know by description the mage. And from the finery of the clothes, you would take a guess that you know that no one else in town dresses in fine green velvets with gold trim and mink, a mink cape. You know that this is the over the top expensive grandeur of being someone with a crazy amount of magic at their disposal. So you can take a pretty solid guess that this is the mage you were looking for, or the
Uh,
previous mage of the tower.
Isaac, I think I found a mage.
How's he doing?
And not very well, actually. Kinda, kinda dead.
Well, that's too bad.
And I think this is that power thing the other mage was talking about that controls the whole tower.
How's that look?
Kinda broken.
Right. Well, I guess we need to know where we need to get the new mage to.
Yes, she probably knows more about it than both of us combined. Unless we can learn something on those documents down below.
Right.
All right.
I'll see what I can find then.
So, that is a superb bit of scouting that normally it normally is a little bit trickier. Um, but let's pop back to Isaac real quick. What are you looking at?
Okay, I'm trying to go through his books and notes and things, focusing on things that were laying about or seemed to get frequent use. Mostly skimming. I'm trying to I'm trying to find his notes about how he set up the tower. I want to find out if those the weird flame creatures are a threat. If so, how to deal with them. Uh, More about the tree. Um, the water seems to be taken care of, but that's my focus right now. Trying to understand the place better so that we can set things up for our new mage to come up.
Absolutely. I love it. Okay. So why don't we do an evidence points to, and
Okay.
whatever you roll is how much you get. So I won't set the difficulty easy, you will get something. Higher than easy, higher than 0, you'll get more.
Okay. Zoop.
3.
3.
3, nice.
Mm-hmm. Also,
Um,
since this is a one shot and there's no point in me keeping, and well,
Yeah.
I haven't upgraded anything. I might as well show this off. I'm going to spend, uh, let's see, it's what's the token cost for upgrading to rank 2? It's level 2, right?
I think
Uh,
it's
Two
the
tokens.
yeah, it's the number you're upgrading to. So like if
Yeah.
you
So
upgrade
if
to
I'm
2 it's
upgrading,
2, if you're upgrading to 3 it's 3,
yeah.
and
And
so
if
on.
I've got a temporary asset of 0, then that costs 3. But okay, so I'm spending 2 tokens to upgrade uh, evidence points to 2. That won't affect this roll, but I'm uh,
Hmm.
just doing
yeah,
that now.
that's great.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea. Um, you you start pawing through, and it's kind of this return to your old life for a moment, where you're looking for evidence, and you find yourself skimming through ramblings of a man who seemed to be in mental decline, and becoming more and more paranoid and more isolated as he wrote kind of here and there on different pieces of paper. Uh, and so when you finally find a journal that looks a little more coherent, uh, and less paranoid that someone's going to get in and someone is going to try to take his tower from him. You find yourself paging through this journal that seems to span only important things in his life, not a daily update. And as you're flipping through that, you see descriptions of how he is going to ensure different things, such as on the level where he's going to host people, that he's going to ensure they come with the intentions they state. And that if people come in under false pretenses and enter in a way that does not match how they said they were coming, with the purpose that they said they were coming with, that they would be attacked. And these little truth seekers that he placed across the table would attack. And so your entry with, we are going to try to save the tower, we're going to try to save the island, being honest, you didn't face any danger. You didn't steal any of the silverware. You didn't break anything. You didn't try to... You did take some candles, which are basically
Technically still in the tower.
worthless. Yeah, they're worthless. But none of the goods were taken. There was nothing to push them to attack you.
Yeah.
You did as you said.
Yeah, I took a fork, but I kind of left in the mirror.
Yes.
Yeah. So you guys didn't exit the room with pockets full of stolen goods.
So, in other words, this is a trap for your standard adventure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm just Mao to fall to this trap.
Yes. And I'm Starfleet. I'm post scarcity. I don't need random silver forks.
So they were keeping an eye on you, but yeah, you didn't trigger anything. You see with the field room that it is various notes on trying to raise a healthy ent in a non-real environment, and trying to ensure it's getting enough nutrition from fake sunlight and from ground that only can go so deep. And it kind of ends with, unfortunately, my companion, it's best to just let him rest. And it looks like he was kind of trying to make himself a friend that will not thrive in captivity. And trying to make an outside world that doesn't fit. Trying to put a wild animal in a household, kind of thing. And then it just sort of continues on with some descriptions of some rooms you didn't encounter, that you're not sure how you get to, but different traps in those rooms that you're like, I never encountered a room full of vulture statues, and I never encountered the cells where he would keep people should they enter under false pretenses. So there are some rooms that you're not sure how to get to, but they're not relevant at the moment. And if you follow the path you took, you think you figured out those two rooms, which most people wouldn't make it first past the first one if they weren't supposed to be here.
Okay. One last thing I'd like to check. As he was becoming, so we've entered here truthfully, but at the same time, I recognize that he was paranoid that someone would try to take the tower from him. And considering that he is now dead, that is exactly what our mission is. So, do I see anything about safeguards against that besides the traps that we have encountered?
You read through, and there doesn't seem to be any acknowledgement of death coming for him.
Hmm.
Um, that he believes he will protect. He believes he will be able to fend off anyone who shows up. Um, that in this kind of end of his life state, he didn't consider after. It was his whole world was just him and protecting himself and protecting his tower and uh, making half-finished plans to do that, like he had all the time in the world. So no, there doesn't seem to be any touch my body and I will haunt you for 100 years or anything.
Okay. All right. Um, Azalea, I think we have all the information we need to safely bring our new mage up. But be careful up there. I don't know if if the old mage died just of old age or if something went wrong. So watch yourself. But if we can figure out the path up to where you are, I think we're good.
Okay, can you get here? Because if you can't get here, I don't think we can bring her here.
I have
I think-
rope, but
We need to figure out a way.
yes. And as I've done a lot. I've sort of hogged the spotlight a little bit for the
Yeah.
last two puzzles, so I'm gonna give you this one.
All right, I'm gonna look around. Is there any obvious way that someone that cannot fly can get up to there? Or
There's no rope ladder or anything like that. There's no stairs leading up to this hole. There's no obvious thing. Um, unless you'd like to spend a token and tell me there is.
Spend a token,
Let's
say that
see.
there's a wheelchair elevator.
claim that. All right. Let me think about it a little bit. I mean, it's magic. Suspend your disbelief. I'm gonna say that there is a magical contraption that can be activated to levitate people up.
I love it. I agree. There absolutely is. As you're kind of peering down at the floor, and you realize that underneath the circle that is dead center of this room, where it's curved upwards into the ceiling with that opening, almost like a piece of that mosaic has been implanted on the floor of the room. And as you look down at it, you kind of you kind of see that it's like perfectly lined up with that hole in the ceiling, almost like it would fit from the floor into the floor above, like a magical lift, maybe.
I point this out to Isaac and say, this magic should be simple enough that she knows how to do it. These contraptions are not that complicated, I don't think.
All right, we should get me up there to do a sweep of the area first.
All right. I'm gonna activate. I don't have anything to. Well, I can spread some fairy dust on the lift and have it go up. Hopefully, it's not gonna.
Yeah!
Yeah. It's not gonna
Do
be.
it!
It's not gonna be too fast. Let's do it. I'm doing it. Stand there.
I dutifully stand where she pointed.
Okay.
I spread some
And-
fairy dust and hope the thing goes up.
You
sneeze.
spend. It smells like cotton candy. You you spent a token. You get your wish, and this floating platform kind of slowly raises you up with no strings attached and nothing below propelling it. It seems to just be a magical lift, and you rise up until it kind of slots into the floor.
Huh. I'm sure the engineer. What's the name of my engineer on the regalia?
Let me see.
Oh, I don't
What's the
remember.
name of the engineer? Oh, what was her name? It was a girl. Lily.
Oh yeah, the little lady.
Lily
'Cause you-
Gecko.
Pardon?
Lily Gecko.
Lily Gecko. Yeah, because you really love short characters. Anyway, okay. Lily would love this thing. Right. I'm going to examine the area. Try to figure out, first of all, what killed the mage. If there's anything else we need to worry about when bringing our new mage up here. So we still don't know her name, do we?
I believe she was introduced way back at the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know if they gave her name though. No.
Mhm.
So I don't think you have a name
Okay.
yet.
Anyway,
Unimportant.
yes.
All right, what you doing?
All right.
Um,
I'm gonna point to the magical sphere in the room and say, "There's a lot of magic sipping from that thing."
And actually, you kind of see like off of Azalea, those little flecks of like, because you described kind of like a Tinkerbell sort of thing.
Yes.
These little flecks of light and magic that kind of drift around her are sort of being caught in that spinning. Not that they're being siphoned or anything, but just kind of caught in the gravity of this this magic that's slowly draining and rotating.
and I don't say this, but I'm thinking this is 100% the thing that's keeping me here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, what about the mage? What's it look like happened to him? I wish I kept my forensic skill now.
I know. I'm like, why are you getting rid of that one?
Well, it's just- yeah.
Too late now.
Yeah. Maybe I can put being a son of Jewish immigrants to work. And so.
I can't. I'm like, I don't know how you're gonna use that, my man.
You should have solicited that one.
All right. it's all right. It can still fall under evidence.
Yeah.
Uh, you, uh, you see he is face down. Um, he has just crazy like um his body is it seems like that kind of pull of magic has almost like dehydrated and mummified the body. So it's not a as messy as it could be. It's
Okay.
very dry. Um and uh and because you gave up your forensics, I'm not going to tell you how long he's been dead. But
Well, I think we can
you
infer that from the fact that that the trees have grown.
yes, yes. You see, he
And from how
has
long the island has been sinking.
yes. Uh, you see rings on his fingers. You see he is kind of stretched out, as if he fell or as if he laid down um, and just didn't get back up. Uh, he's not curled in a fetal position or anything. Um, he's just sort of laying there.
Like he
Uh,
laid down or like he fell?
um, like he laid down. Um, and you don't immediately see any uh, like a crack to the head, you do see that he had a long white wizard beard, and long white hair, elderly, clearly, and uh, that he has fine clothes and jewelry on him, but seems to just have laid down and died.
Okay. Anything in the environment that seems like a potential hazard?
You do a quick sweep of the area. This is top of the tower. You are in a room that is smaller than any of the other rooms you've been in, even with the exaggerated size of the forest room. Um, and this is a maybe 20 by 20 room. It's not huge, and in the center is this crackling thing, and all the walls um, are that stained glass shining these weird lights in, and there's no other accoutrement. There's no other decoration in here. It seems very simple, practical almost, except for the stained glass.
Okay. Well, I don't see any immediate threats here, so I think our path is clear.
Yes, we can ask for help from some of the villagers to bring her up here. As long as
Sounds doable.
as long as they listen to what you learned.
Right. I guess it's time to begin our descent then.
Indeed, should be easier than getting up.
All right. Um,
And now is the point where we realize pixie dust only makes the elevator go up.
oh no! You've been sealed in the tomb just like him! Uh,
Tink, tink, tink.
there's no air! There's no air! Um, uh, although, would that matter for either of you? I'm not sure. Uh,
I probably just go out the window if there's a.
Yeah, just break through the stained glass.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you descend on the platform that Azalea so cleverly found.
And
Um,
bring the book with me, by the way.
okay, great. You uh, collect that journal, bring it along with you. Um, you walk without issue down the wet, stained stairs, and see that at the base of the golden door there is a uh, slowly absorbing puddle of blue water into the ground below. A short hop down, and you are back into the forest room. Uh, Presumably as quietly as possible.
Hmm?
You
Mm-hmm.
continue following the path to over next to the sign, which leads you to the next set of stairs down into the dining room, which uh, you creak back open, and the room is dark. The door out is still open, shining in the last bit of an evening sun as you've spent a few hours exploring this tower and making it as safe as possible to get up through. And you uh, are able to head into that dining room and out if you would like.
I would like.
Uh,
I
yes.
think, yeah.
Although, as we exit, I make a point of flashing the journal and saying, we're not stealing this. We're borrowing it because we need it to save the island. We'll be right back.
Okay, good call. Um, I'm like, he's got rings on his fingers and fancy clothes. I just can't get you guys to loot anything.
No.
uh,
I mean, I probably could use one of his rings as a
Crown.
bracelet or a crown. Yeah.
um, all
But
right.
I'm
Uh,
not. I mean, I'm as someone that lives in the island. I'm more concerned with keeping the island floating. Any looting can be
yeah,
done later.
yeah. Well, thing is, I was like, oh man, if our other player does play the character that he was talking about, like this is gonna be
Ah,
chaos.
right.
Yes.
Um, all right. You guys head down the mountain in the twilight of this evening, and you hear the hubbub of the villagers as there are people filling carts with their belongings and heading towards the dock. You see that another couple of feet have been lost um, to the ocean as the island continues to sink while you've been gone. And the last usable dock that has been shifted trying to keep up with the sinking of the island is now being lapped by water crossing over the wooden boards, and the boat there is loading on the the last few reluctant folks willing to leave, and that the town is being slowly abandoned, probably because there's some hope that you guys will return.
And then we return.
And then you returned.
I will
And
very energically announce that we found a way up the tower.
finally able to be loud.
Yes.
Despite your small size, you make use of that voice and announce to the folks that you've got a way up the tower. And you hear folks kind of questioning for a moment before one of them spots what you're carrying, Isaac,
Hmm.
and sees that you really did make it in there and back out, and you didn't just like hang out in there, and you hear leader Melda kind of open her house, the door to her house, where she sets down a bag that she was packing, and she says, "All right, all right. Oh, did we find the way up? We're good."
We've got it. We need to. There's still some caution that we need to use, but we can do it. We'll need a few extra strong backs, though.
Some of the uh, some of the hard-working folks here absolutely volunteer. As Melda brings the young mage out from her own house, where they seem to have been staying until the rest of the um, evacuation took place. And this young woman uh, looks up excitedly, and she goes, "Really, you did it? You made it up?"
Yes, we did.
And
And
back
I
down
hand her
again.
the. Mhm.
"Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Yes. Uh, let's go." And you have an entire town of hardy, if not magical, very driven farmers who one of the stockier, slightly younger than some of the others, fellows ties her to his back uh, to help carry her, and she uh, she says, "Well, bring my chair if we can, at least to the top, at least to the top of the mountain. Uh, once I fix, once I make the tower more accessible, I will want it." Um, she is animated despite her kind of pale look as she's describing what she learned from the mage that she wasn't chosen to inherit from, about remaking the tower and uh, bending it to her will, and to revitalizing the magic of this place and pulling it back up out of the ocean. And with you in the lead, having um, figured out the the dangers of this place, the only place you might have a moment is getting all these
People
folks
through the quiet.
to be really quiet as you sneak into the back of a tree that if it woke up you're not sure what it would do.
Yes.
Um, but you are able to get her up to that bedroom slash laboratory slash study, and with the clever use of her magic, Azalea is able to uh, uh, bring her up into the room uh, where there's the cracked power core, and she immediately there starts drifting magic off of her as she goes, "Heaven only knows what absolute chaos this is causing around, with magic just drifting out willy-nilly." Um, uh, and she begins to reform it, and you have successfully put a new mage in place as she begins to uh, pour magic into this cracked shape. It begins to shift in color to match this kind of sunny yellow. The windows all shatter and then reform into open uh, arches. The stone becomes this beautiful white polished stone as you can suddenly feel the breeze blow in from the ocean, and everybody kind of has that feeling of a jolting elevator as the island begins to reemerge. And this tiny little woman being held up by either you, Isaac, if you would like, or one of the townspeople, um, begins to reform and resurrect this island from the watery depths. Um, and all of a sudden, Isaac, you hear a beep.
Excuse me for a moment. Look for a place to step aside, out of view.
Um,
I
you
gotta pee.
I'm a bit too curious to let him just go alone.
I with tiny and nimble and wings. I don't know, man. I think she can you guys are in the smallest room. I mean, unless you're going to try to get away.
Um, I think I'm gonna try to take the elevator down into the study
Okay.
because I said I gotta pee. So
Okay, all right. Uh, so Azalea, are you going to follow him?
I'm gonna say I heard the beep beep, and that get me curious, and I'm kinda thinking that peeing is not the case here.
Or it's his bathroom timer, you know?
oh, thanks.
Still gotta. Now I'm gonna be a fae here and just do what I'm not supposed to.
Alrighty.
Okay, I'm just gonna go find a corner and see, try to remain private and answer my communicator, as I'm sure that
All
that's
right.
what that was.
Yep.
I'm just in a tiny nookie, the most tiny hidden place I can find around.
Yeah, and well the rooms are shifting and changing around you. So you're being part of that chaos and finding places to flit in among that makes perfect sense. Um and you hear a voice come through go and no words, but there is voice. Sounds very broken at the moment.
I fiddle with the knobs a bit, trying to get a clearer transmission.
You hear I'm gonna say Lily because she's in engineering, so she probably be trying to figure out a way to reach you.
Mm-hmm.
You hear her go, hello, hello.
What rank is she?
She is the chief engineer.
Uh-huh. But what's her rank? Is she like lieutenant commander, something like that?
You know, I didn't write that. I am not
Okay.
sure.
I'll just call her commander.
Sure.
It was Gecko, right? Commander Lily
Yep.
Gecko? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, Commander Gecko. Hello.
Oh my goodness, Isaac! We have been just having the worst luck getting a hold of you.
Oh, that's a long story. Listen, can you, do you have a read on me?
I mean, things are clearing up. We will soon. If you just stay steady, stay where you are. Um, I don't know. It looks like you're in the middle of some sort of crazy storm.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
complicated. I'll tell you all about it once I get back. Look, give me a couple minutes, and then I should be, then I'm very ready to get out of here.
okay, well, we're ready to have you back. We have we have a couple of people, kind of worried about you.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
fine.
okay.
Okay.
All right. Then stay put. We'll get you in a minute. I'll call in when we've got a lock.
Okay. Alrighty, thank you. Thank you, Commander. Okay, and I flip the communicator shut. And I know she said to stay put, but real quick, I'm going to head back up to the towards the elevator area. I'm not going to take the elevator, uh, but I'm going to shout up, "Hey, something's come up. I gotta go."
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay, as he moves out to go, I'm like, hey, why didn't you tell me you could do magic as well?
It's not the right kind of magic.
Is there a right kind of magic? What kind of magic can you do? I'm
The
now.
kind I can't talk about.
Oh,
There's
come on!
rules.
Stupid magic rules. It would be a
Yeah.
lot easier to save this island if there weren't so many stupid rules about not talking about magic.
Well, I put all the magic I have, such as it is I already put towards this. Okay, listen. I'll tell you this. And I point at the sky and say nothing else. And
What?
when she looks back at me, I've disappeared.
Yeah.
What? I just wait. What? Where? What? But the, you could have at least said goodbye. Rude.
I probably should have, but oh well.
It's a great exit, though.
Yes, it is. It's
Yes.
worth it.
Um, Azalea, you find yourself suddenly alone as this room shifts and changes from a dark, serious study with velvets and dark colors to the walls and the tapestries to kind of a bright, sunny, floral patterns and pink walls and just a blossoming, joyous room. Very different from the room you were in just moments ago. And there's this moment of like, did he disappear because of the room? Or was this part of his magic? Or you're just not sure what has happened to this man who showed up on the island and disappeared just as suddenly. But you know that as long as this island stands, you're going to have a safe place uh, from being pulled into a war you want nothing to do with and being tapped as a resource and not treated as a sentient being. And that strange fellow was part of that. And you, by your boldness, put this all in place, that this would happen. And so there's maybe a little bit of confusion, but there's also a lot of pride in having pushed for saving your home. So
Yeah.
I think, unless you have any final thoughts, that's where we'll kind of end that.
Are you okay? So let's say everything gets settled, and finally the Mage finishes with the renovations, and the island is back on top. And we say there were no ships going in and out as that was happening. I look around the island, still trying to find Isaac, trying to figure out what the heck happened.
Yeah.
Learn that nobody saw him after he left to the bathroom or something.
True.
Yeah.
True. Well, let me ask you this. How long do fairies live? Are they like eternal unless something happens to them?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I didn't thought that deep, but let's say they're magical and live forever or something, or very very long,
then
at least.
Actually,
Yeah.
how about this? So we spent all day on this. The sun's down
Yeah.
now. You've been wandering around the island, and finally you just kind of it's night. You look up and you see one of the stars start to move and then zip away. And something
and
tells you that that's Isaac.
That's a good
and
no.
a few thousand years from now, maybe your civilization will be advanced enough to encounter him again.
Yeah,
So,
maybe we use a magical warp engine powered by fairy dust.
Oh no.
good luck figuring that out, engineers.
Oh yeah.
But it's magic. Suspend your disbelief.
Indeed.
Yay!
You know.
Roll
Yes.
credits.
Yeah.
We saved the
All right.
island. All right.
You did.
Yep.
Good job.
Thank you, and thank you for GMing. Great adventure,
Thanks.
nice and fun.
Thanks.
We didn't even fight anything. That's
Yeah.
you are
I
learning.
I knew
about
that was
this
a
group.
real possibility.
Yes.
All right.
You are
I'll
learning
need to
about
bring
the-
Azalea back at some point. A more a more longer yeah long format adventure. Because yeah, she's fun, but I didn't have as much fun as I expected in the short format. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
yeah. There was a few things I didn't get to use,
Yeah.
and that would be interesting. But that's okay. That's what happens with short stuff.
Yeah, I think Azalea is better suited for a more open storyline. The dungeon crawler is really
Yeah,
very
yeah.
focused,
hmm
and it's
Yeah, I'm not used to dungeon crawling on like tabletop stories, so
oh yeah, and
yeah.
this is not a system that's uh, designed for dungeon crawling.
hmm Yeah. I'm gonna
So,
bring her back in another opportunity if we have it.
all right. Okay. So, good adventure, nice and fun. We're probably going to do more of these in the future. Don't know exactly when. We need to come up with a campaign and someone to lead it for a good, proper, long story.
hmm
And we don't know yet when when we're going to have that opportunity, but it is something that that we hope to do in the future.
I have a few ideas. I'm gonna try to prepare something, but I will not make any promises.
All right. Okay.
Right.
So, I think we're about ready to wrap up, right? I don't. There might be
Indeed.
Yeah.
one person in chat, but nobody said anything for quite a while.
Yeah. I have like 2 viewers here. I think one of them is you.
Yes.
All right, I guess that's about it. So, yeah, thanks everyone for
right.
watching.
Yep.
If you watch
Thank
it.
you, and thank you again, Nora, for GMing.
Yeah, thanks for playing. Thanks for I know it wasn't the perfect way to do an F sharp game.
It's
Thanks for
fine.
being flexible with me taking a D&D plot and trying to make it work here, and I look forward to playing again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if next
Alrighty.
time we can make something bigger and bolder.
Yeah. I have a character I've been sitting on for quite a while that I'm itching to bring out.
I have some weird ideas for long-term stuff.
Well, I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Thanks, Nora. Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.
And goodbye to Twitch chat, whoever happens to be left.